Thomas had to stay in the siding for the rest of the day. The rain poured down on his boiler and he felt cold. Thomas felt miserable. His nice sunny day had turned into a disaster. At last the inspector came up. "Cheer up, Thomas," he said. "I've made arrangements, and you will be getting to York after all." "Thank you, sir," said Thomas. "So tomorrow," continued the inspector, "a lorry will be coming to get you." "Oh, lorry!" stunted Thomas. "Yes," said the inspector. "It'll arrive tomorrow at 8 o'clock sharp." Thomas slept badly that night. He dreamt that after he'd finished his journey on the lorry, Gordon, Henry and James were already in York. He could almost hear them laughing at him. The next morning, the diesel shunter came to push Thomas onto the lorry. The lorry soon arrived, and a cable was attached to Thomas from the lorry. The diesel shunter buffered up to Thomas, and with the diesel and the cable, they pushed and pulled Thomas onto the lorry. When Thomas was on, the lorry set off for York. The lorry drove through the countryside. Thomas enjoyed it, but he soon got tired after a while. At last, houses began to appear. "This looks like York," said Thomas. It was, but he wasn't sure. Neither was the lorry driver. He parked on the pavement and walked into a house to ask if the place was York. While Thomas was waiting, a policeman came up. "Hello," said Thomas. Said the policeman. He then wrote something in his book and put a note on the lorry. Then he walked off. Thomas was puzzled. When the lorry driver came out of the house, he saw the note. Then Thomas heard them slam the car door crossly and drive away to the museum. When they arrived, Thomas was soon unloaded, and the lorry driver drove away without saying goodbye. When Thomas's driver arrived, Thomas told him what had happened. Thomas's driver laughed and laughed when he had heard this. He laughed so much that he fell on the ground. When he had finally come to his senses, he stood up and talked to Thomas. "Well, that is really funny, Thomas," he chuckled. "Thomas books for parking. That certainly wouldn't suit the Fat Controller's railway."